The compound. Multiplying your success. One simple step at a time. Darren Hardy, Publisher, Success Magazine. फ्रंट पेजेस 7 फ्रंट पेजेस 7/21/10 दोपहर के 1:06 और 56 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:06 और 56 सेकंड. If you purchased this book without a cover, you should be aware that this book may have been stolen property and reported as and sold and destroyed to the publisher. In such case, neither the author nor the publisher has not received payment for this stripped book. No part of this book may be reproduced or transmitted in any form or means, electronic or mechanical, including photocopying, recording, or by any information storage and retrieval systems without the written permission from the publisher. For more information, contact Success Books. Copyright 2010 by Success Media. All rights reserved. Published by Success Books, an imprint of Success Media. 200 स्विशर रोड, लेक, डेलस, टेक्सास 75065 866-782237 www.s.com. Success is a registered trademark and Success Magazine, Success Books and its colophon are trademarks of Success Media. All trademarks and registered trademarks included in the compound effect are property of their rightful owners. Printed in the United States of America. Book designed by Greg Luther and Amy Momery, edited by Erin Casey. ISBN. Special sale. Success Books are available at special discounts for bulk purchase, for sales promotions and premiums. Special editions, including personalized covers, excerpts of existing books, and corporate imprints, can be created in large quantities for special needs. For more information, contact Special Markets, Success Books, cell.es8s.com. फ्रंट पेजेस 8 फ्रंट पेजेस 8/21/10 दोपहर के 1:06 और 59 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:06 और 59 सेकंड. Warning. These chapter headings look simple. Success strategies are no longer a secret, but most people ignore them. You think you already know the secret to success. So does everyone else. But the 6 strategies within this book, when applied in sequence, will launch your income, your life, your success like nothing before. As the publisher of Success Magazine, I've seen it all. Nothing works like the power of the compound effect of simple actions done right over time. This is it, the real deal on what it takes to achieve massive success in your life. Whatever your dream, desire, your goal in life, the plan to achieve it all is found in the book you're holding. Read on and let it rock your world. फ्रंट पेजेस x फ्रंट पेजेस x 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 4 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 4 सेकंड. Contents. Acknowledgements 13 Special message from Anthony Robbins 15 Introduction 1 Chapter 1 The Compound Effect in Action 5 Chapter 2 Choices 23 Chapter 3 Habits 55 Chapter 4 Momentum 93 Chapter 5 INFL 119 Chapter 6 Acceleration 141 Conclusion 159 Resource Guide 163. Front पेजेस 11 फ्रंट पेजेस 11 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 8 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 8 सेकंड. फ्रंट पेजेस 12 फ्रंट पेजेस 12 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:24 और 35 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:24 और 35 सेकंड. Acknowledgements. I extend my appreciation and thanks to my team at Success Media and Success Magazine who has supported me through this labor of blood, sweat and almost tears, particularly my good friends and colleagues Reed Bilbray and Stuart Johnson. To my writing muse and collaborator Linda Sivertson, who helped pull out the stories and references from my past and give my process a order and coherence. To the editing wizardry of Erin Casey, the touch of our Success magazine editor Lisa Acker, and to our editor-in-chief Deborah Heiss. To the many brilliant experts I have worked with and learned from over the past 2 decades, all the CEOs, revolutionary entrepreneurs, and extraordinary achievers I have had the chance to interview and glean new insights, ideas, and wisdom from. To all the readers of Success magazine, my blog, and my other works, and whose enthusiastic and appreciative feedback inspires me to want to continue to pursue the zenith of my potential so I can better assist others to find theirs. And finally, and most important, to my beautiful and wonderful wife, Georgia, who said many late nights and weekends without me while I worked to complete this manuscript. फ्रंट पेजेस 13 फ्रंट पेजेस 13/4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 11 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 11 सेकंड. No matter what you learn, what strategy or tactic you employ, success comes as the result of the compound effect. Front pages 14 front pages 14/4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 14 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 14 सेकंड. Special message from Anthony R.O.B. Beansert. During the past 3 decades, I've had the privilege of helping more than 4 million people create breakthroughs in their lives. I've worked with an immensely diverse group of people, from presidents of countries to prisoners, Olympic athletes, and entertainers, from billionaire entrepreneurs to those just struggling to start their own business. Whether working with a couple fight to keep their family together or a person in prison searching for a way to change their life from the inside out, my focus has always been on helping people achieve real and sustainable results. You can't do that through a magic pill or secret formula, but only through understanding the real tools, strategies, and science behind what it takes to break through the patterns that defeat so many and achieve a meaningful life. Darren and I both made the decision to take control of our lives at an early age. We searched for answers by seeking out people who were living the kind of life we wanted to live. Then we applied what we learned. It's not really all that surprising that front pages 15 front pages 15/4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 16 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 16 सेकंड. We both cite Jim Rohn as a mentor. Jim was a master at helping people understand the truths, the laws, and the practices that lead to real, lasting success. Jim taught us that achievement is not about luck, it's really a science. Sure, everyone is different, but the same laws of success always apply. You reap what you sow. You can't get out of life what you're not willing to put into it. If you want more love, give more love. If you want greater success, help others achieve more. And when you study and master the science of achievement, you will find the success you desire. Darren Hardy is living proof of this philosophy. He walks the talk. What he shares in his book is based on what has worked in his life and mine as well. This is a guy who has taken simple but profound fundamentals of what it takes to be successful and used them to earn more than $1 million a year by age and build a company to more than $50 million by age. For the past 20 years, his life has been a personal laboratory of study and research on the topic of success. He's used himself as a guinea pig, testing thousands of different ideas, resources, and tools, and through his failings and his triumphs, he's figured out which ideas and strategies have merit and which ones are just plain BS. For 16 years, I have crossed paths with Darren, who as a leader in the industry has worked closely with hundreds of top writers, speakers, and thought leaders. He has trained tens of thousands of entrepreneurs, advised many large companies, and personally mentored dozens of top CEOs and achievers, extracting from them what really matters and really works and what doesn't. In his role as publisher of Success magazine, Darren sits at the center. फ्रंट पेजेस 16 फ्रंट पेजेस 16/4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 19 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 19 सेकंड of the personal development industry. He's interviewed top leaders from Richard Branson to General Colin Powell to Lance Armstrong on a multitude of success topics and drilled down to their best ideas, compiling them all, even a few of mine. He is an sorting, digesting, analyzing, summarizing, categorizing, itemizing encyclopedia of information. He has called the clutter and focused on the core fundamentals that matter, fundamentals that you can immediately implement in your life to produce measurable and sustainable results. The compound effect is the operator's manual that teaches you how to own the system, how to control it, master it, and shape it to your needs and desires. Once you do, there is nothing you can't obtain or achieve. The compound effect is based on a principle I've used in my own life and training, that is, your decisions shape your destiny. The future is what you make of it. Little everyday decisions will either take you to the life you desire or to disaster by default. In fact, it's the littlest decisions that shape our lives. Stay off course by just 2 millimeters and your trajectory changes. What seem like a tiny, inconsequential decision then can become a mammoth miscalculation now. From what to eat and where to work, to the people you spend your time with, to how you spend your afternoon, every choice shapes how you live today, but more important, how you live the rest of your life. But the good news is change is within you. In the same way, a 2 millimeter miscalculation can send you veering wildly off your life's course, a mere readjustment can also bring you right back home. The trick is find the plan, the guide, the map that shows you where that home is. How you get there. How you stay on the path. फ्रंट पेजेस 17 फ्रंट पेजेस 17/4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 22 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 22 सेकंड. This book is that detailed, tangible plan of action. Let it shake up your expectations, eliminate your assumptions, ignite your curiosity, and bring value to your life, starting right now. Take advantage of this tool. Use it as a guide to create the life and the success you want. If you do this, and if you do all the other right things and keep doing them day in and day out, I know you will experience the best life has to offer. Live with passion. Anthony Robbins, entrepreneur, author, and strategist. फ्रंट पेजेस 18 फ्रंट पेजेस 18/4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 25 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 25 सेकंड. Introduction. This book is about success and what it really takes to earn it. It's time someone told it to you straight. You've been bamboozled for too long. There is no magic bullet, secret formula, or quick fix. You don't make $2 lakh a year spending 2 hours a day on the internet, lose 30 pounds in a week, rub years of your face with a cream, fix your love life with a pill, or find lasting success with any other scheme that is too good to be true. It would be great if you could buy your success, fame, good relationships, and health and in a nicely package at the local Walmart. But that's not how it works. We are constantly bombarded with increasingly sensational claims to get rich, get fit, get younger, get sexier, all overnight with little effort for only 3 easy payments of $39.95. These repetitive marketing messages have distorted our sense of what it really takes to succeed. We've lost sight of the simple but profound fundamentals of what it takes to be successful. I'm tired of it. I won't sit back and watch these reckless messages derail people any longer. I wrote this book to take. इंट्रो 1/4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 33 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 33 सेकंड 2 The compound effect. You back to basics. I'm going to help you clear the clutter and bring focus to the core fundamentals that matter. You can immediately implement in your life the exercises and success principles this book contains to produce measurable and sustainable results. I'm going to teach you to harness the power of the compound effect, the operating system that has been running your life, for better or worse. Use this system to your advantage and you truly can revolutionize your life. You have heard you can achieve anything you set your mind to, right? Well, only if you know how. The compound effect is the operator's manual that teaches you how to master the system. When you do, and there is nothing you can't obtain or achieve. How do I know that the compound effect is the only process you need for ultimate success? Firstly, I have applied these principles to my own life. Now I hate it when authors beat their chests about their fame and fortune, but it's important you know I speak from personal experience. I am offering you living proof, not regurgitated theory. As Anthony Robbins mentioned, I've enjoyed success in my business endeavors because I've made it a point to live by the principles you'll read in this book. For the past 20 years, I've been intensely studying success and human achievement. I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars testing thousands of different ideas, resources, and philosophies. My personal experience has proven that no matter what you learn or what strategy or tactic you employ, success comes as the result of the operating system of the compound effect. Secondly, for the past 16 years, I have been a leader in the industry. I've worked with respected thought leaders, speakers, and authors. As a speaker and इंट्रो 2/4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 36 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 36 सेकंड इंट्रोडक्शन 3 Consultant. I've trained tens of thousands of entrepreneurs. I've mentored business leaders, corporate executives, and countless. From thousands of case studies, I have extracted what works and what doesn't. Thirdly, as publisher of Success Magazine, I sift through thousands of article submissions and books to help choose the experts we feature in the magazine and review all of their material. Each month, I interview a top experts on a multitude of success topics and drill down to their best ideas. All day, every day, I am consuming, sorting, and wading through an ocean of information. Here's my point. When you have such an exhaustive view of this industry and wisdom gained through studying the teachings and best practices of some of the world's most successful people, an amazing clarity emerges. The underlying fundamental truths become crystal clear. Having seen it, read it, and heard most all of it, I can no longer be fooled by the latest gambit or profit with the newest sea breakthrough. Nobody can sell me on gimmicks. I have too many reference points. I've gone down too many roads and learned the truth the hard way. As my mentor, the great business philosopher Jim Rohn, said, there are no new fundamentals. Truth is not new, it's old. You've got to be a little suspicious of the guy who says, come over here and I want to show you my manufactured antiques. No, you can't manufacture antiques. What this book is about, with all the unnecessary noise, fat and a fluff removed, is what really matters. What really works. What basics, when focused on and mastered, constitute the operating system that can take you to any goal you desire and help you live the life you were meant to live. This book contains इंट्रो 3/4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 39 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 39 सेकंड 4 द कंपाउंड इफेक्ट Those fundamentals they comprise the operating system called the compound effect. Before we dig in, I have one warning: earning success is hard. The process is laborious, tedious, sometimes even boring. Becoming wealthy in your file is slow and arduous. Don't get me wrong, you'll see results in your life from following these steps almost immediately. But if you have an aversion to work, discipline, and commitment, you're welcome to turn the TV back on and put your hope in the next infomercial. The van touting promises of overnight success if you have access to a major credit card. Here's the bottom line: you already know all that you need to succeed. You don't need to learn anything more. If all we needed was more information, everyone with an internet connection would live in a mansion, have ABS of steel, and be blissfully happy. No, or more information is not what you need. A new plan of action is. It's time to create new behaviors and habits that are oriented away from sabotage and toward success. It's that simple. You're about to discover a detailed, tangible plan of action. Let it shake up your expectations, eliminate your assumptions, ignite your curiosity, and bring value to your life, starting right now. Throughout the book, I mention resources I've made available at Calm. Please go there. Use them. This book and the tools I've provided to support you offer the best of everything I've heard, seen, studied, and tried. It's the best of what we bring you every month in Success Magazine, all in one little book. And it is simple. Let's get started. इंट्रो 4/4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 42 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:07 और 42 सेकंड चैप्टर 1 द कंपाउंड इफेक्ट इन एक्शन You know that expression, slow and steady wins the race. Ever heard the story of the tortoise and the hare? Ladies and gentlemen, I am the tortoise. Give me enough time and I will beat virtually anybody at any time in any competition. Why? Not because I am the best or the smartest or the fastest. I'll win because of the positive habits I've developed and because of the consistency I use in applying those habits. I'm the world's biggest believer in consistency. I'm living proof that it's the ultimate key to success, yet it's one of the biggest pitfalls for people struggling to achieve. Most people don't know how to sustain it. I do. I have my father to thank for that. In a sense, he was my 5RST coach for igniting the power of the compound effect. My parents divorced when I was 18 months old, and my dad raised me as a single father. He wasn't exactly the soft. चैप्टर 1/5/4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:40 और 38 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:40 और 38 सेकंड 6 द कंपाउंड इफेक्ट नर्चरिंग टाइप He was a former university football coach and he me for achievement. Thanks to Dad, because we're at 6 o'clock every morning. Not by a loving tap on the shoulder or even the sound of a radio alarm. No, I was awakened each morning by the repetitious sound of iron pounding on the concrete FL of our garage, situated next to my bedroom. It was like waking up 12 feet from a construction zone. He'd painted a huge "No pain, no gain" sign on the wall of the garage, which he stared at while he did countless strongman deadlifts to power cleans, lunges and squats. Rain, slate or shine, Dad was out there in his shorts and tattered sweatshirt. He never missed a day. You could set your watch by his routine. I had more chores than a housekeeper and gardener put together. Upon returning from school, there was always a list of instructions to greet me: pull weeds, rake leaves, sweep the garage, dust, vacuum, do the dishes, you name it. And getting behind in school wasn't tolerated. That's just the way it was. Dad was the original no excuses guy. We weren't ever allowed to stay home from school sick unless we were actually puking, bleeding, or showing bone. The term showing bone came from his coaching days. His players knew they weren't allowed to come out of the game unless they were seriously injured. One time his quarterback asked to be pulled out of the game. Dad said, "Not unless you're showing bone." The quarterback pulled back his shoulder pads and sure enough his collarbone was showing. Only then was he allowed to come off the field. चैप्टर 1 6 चैप्टर 1 6 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:38 और 13 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:38 और 13 सेकंड द कंपाउंड इफेक्ट इन एक्शन 7 One of Dad's core philosophies was it doesn't matter how smart you are or aren't, you need to make up in hard work what you lack in experience, skill, intelligence, or innate ability. If your competitor is smarter, more talented, or experienced, you just need to work 3 or 4 times as hard. You can still beat them. No matter what the challenge, he taught me to make up in hard work for wherever I might be disadvantaged. Miss free throws at the game. Do 1,000 free throws every day for a month. Not good at dribbling with your left hand. Tie your right hand behind your back and dribble 3 hours a day. Behind in your math. Hunker down, hire a tutor and work like hell all summer until you get it. No excuses. If you aren't good at something, work hard and work smarter. He walked his talk too. Dad went from being a football coach to a top salesperson. From there he became the boss and ultimately went on to own his own company. But I wasn't given loads of instruction. From the beginning, Dad let us fight it out. He was all about taking personal responsibility. He didn't hammer on us every night about homework, we just had to show up with the results. And when you did, you were celebrated. If we got good grades, Dad took us to Pring's, an ice cream parlor where you could get these king banana splits, 6 scoops of ice cream and all the 5 things. Many times my siblings didn't fare as well in school, so they didn't get to go. Getting to go was a big deal, so you worked your butt off to win the trip. Dad's discipline served as an example for me. Dad was my idol and I wanted him to be proud of me. I also lived in fear of disappointing him. One of his philosophies is be the guy who says no. It's no great achievement to go along with the चैप्टर 1 7 चैप्टर 1 7 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:38 और 14 सेकंड 4/21/10 दोपहर के 1:38 और 14 सेकंड 8 The compound effect. Crowd. Be the unusual guy, the extraordinary guy. That's why I never did drugs. He never harped on me about it, but I didn't want to be that guy who just went along because everyone else was doing it. And I didn't want to let Dad down. Thanks to Dad, by age 12, I'd mastered a schedule worthy of the most efficient. Sometimes I griped and moaned I was a kid, but even then I secretly liked knowing that I had an edge over my classmates. Dad gave me a serious head start on the discipline and mentality it takes to be dedicated and responsible to achieve whatever I set out to achieve. It's no accident that the tagline of Success magazine is what achievers read. Today Dad and I joke about what an addictive overachiever he trained me to be. At 18, I was making income in my own business. By age 20, I owned my own home in an upscale neighborhood. By age, my income grew to more than $8 million a year, and by age, I was OFFI a millionaire with a business that brought in more than $50 million in revenue. That just about brings us to the present day, because I'm not yet 40 but I have enough money and assets to last my family the rest of my life. There are lots of ways to screw up a kid, Dad says. At least my way was a pretty good way. You seem to have done pretty well. So while I admit that I've had to practice sitting on my hands and being present in the moment or chilling out peacefully in a beach chair from time to time without taking a pile of business books or CDs with me, I am grateful for the success skills I learned from my dad and my other mentors along the way. The compound effect reveals the secret behind my success. I'm a true believer in the compound effect because Dad made चैप्टर 1 चैप्टर 1 8/4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 14 सेकंड 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 14 सेकंड The compound effect in action now. Sure that I lived it each and every day until I couldn't live any other way if I tried. But if you're like most people, you're not a true believer. There are lots of perfectly understandable reasons why. You haven't had the same coaching and example showing you what to do. You haven't experienced the payoff of the compound effect. As a society, we have been deceived. We've been hypnotized by commercial marketing, which convinces you of problems you don't have and sells you on the idea of to cure them. We've been socialized to believe in the endings found in movies and novels. We've lost sight of the good value of hard and consistent work. Let's examine these hurdles one by one. You haven't experienced the payoff of the compound effect. The compound effect is the principle of reaping huge rewards from a series of small, smart choices. What's most interesting about this process to me is that even though the results are massive, the steps in the moment don't feel can't. Whether you're using this strategy for improving your health, relationships, finances, or anything else for that matter, the changes are so subtle they're almost imperceptible. These small changes offer little or no immediate result, no big win, no obvious payoff. So why bother? Most people get tripped up by the simplicity of the compound effect. For instance, they quit after the 8th day of running because they're still overweight. Or they stop practicing the चैप्टर 1/4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 16 सेकंड 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 16 सेकंड 10 The compound effect. Piano after 6 months because they haven't mastered anything other than chopsticks. Or they stop making contributions to their IRA after a few years because they could use the cash and it doesn't seem to be adding up to much anyway. What they don't realize is that these small, seemingly canned steps completed consistently over time will create a radical difference. Let me give you a few detailed examples. Small, smart choices, the consistency, time, radical difference. The magic penny. If you were given a choice between taking $10 million in cash this very instant and a single penny that doubles in value every day for 31 days, which would you choose? If you heard this before, you know the penny gambit is the choice you should make. You know it's the course that will lead to greater wealth. Yet why is it so hard to believe choosing the penny will result in more money in the end? Because it takes so much longer to see the payoff. Let's take a closer look. Let's say you take the cold, hard cash and your friend goes the penny route. And the 5, your friend has 16 cents. You, however, have $10 million. And the 10 pits $5.12 versus your big bucks. How do you think your friend is feeling about her decision? You're spending your millions enjoying the heck out of it than loving your choice. After 20 full days, with only 11 days left, Penny Lane has only $5,243. How is she feeling about herself at this point? For all her C and positive behavior, she has barely more than. चैप्टर 1 10 चैप्टर 1 10 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 18 सेकंड 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 18 सेकंड. द कंपाउंड इफेक्ट इन एक्शन 11 $5,000. You, however, have $10 million. Then the invisible magic of the compound effect starts to become visible. The same small mathematical growth improvement each day makes the compounded penny worth $1,737,418.24 and then more than 3 times your $10 million. In this example, we see why consistency over time is so important. And that you got your $10 million. Penny Lane has around $2.7 million. It isn't until day 30 of this 31st-day race that she pulls ahead with $5.10 million. And it isn't until the very last day of this month-long that your friend blows you out of the water. She ends up with $1,737,418.24 to your $10 million. Very few things are as impressive as the magic of compounding pennies. Amazingly, this force is equally powerful in every area of your life. Here's another example. 3 friends. Let's take 3 buddies who all grew up together. They live in the same neighborhood with very similar sensibilities. Each makes around $50,000 a year. They're all married and have average health and body weight plus a little bit of that dreaded marriage afflub. Friend number 1, let's call him Larry, plods along doing as he's always done. He's happy there or so he thinks, but complains occasionally that nothing ever changes. Friend number 2, Scott, starts making some small, seemingly inconsequential, positive changes. He begins reading 10 pages of a good book per day and listening to चैप्टर 1 11 चैप्टर 1 11 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 19 सेकंड 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 19 सेकंड. 12 द कंपाउंड इफेक्ट. These minutes of something instructional or inspirational on his commute to work. Scott wants to see changes in his life but doesn't want to make a fuss over it. He recently read an interview with Dr. Mehmet Oz in Success magazine and chose one idea from the article to implement in his life. He's going to cut 125 calories from his diet every day. No big deal. Beer taking maybe a cup of cereal less, trading that can of soda for a bottle of seltzer, switching from mayo to mustard on his sandwich. Doable. He's also started walking a couple thousand extra steps per day, less than a mile. No grand acts of bravery or effort. Stuff anyone could do. But Scott is determined to stick with these choices, knowing that even though they're simple, he could also easily be tempted to abandon them. Fan number 3. Brad makes a few poor choices. He recently bought a new TV so he can watch more of his favorite programs. He's been trying out the recipes he's seen on the Food Channel. The cheesy casseroles and desserts are his favorites. And he installed a bar in his family room and added one alcoholic drink per week to his diet. Nothing crazy, Brad just wants to have a little more fun. At the end of 5 months, no perceivable differences exist among Larry, Scott, or Brad. Scott continues to read a little bit every night and listen to audios during his commute. Brad is enjoying a life and doing less. Larry keeps doing as he always has. Even though each man has his own pattern of behavior, 5 months isn't long enough to see any real decline or improvement in their situations. In fact, if you charted the 3 men's weights, you'd see a rounding error of 0. They'd look exactly equal. चैप्टर 1/4/4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 22 सेकंड 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 22 सेकंड The compound effect in action 13. At the end of 10 months, we still can't see noticeable changes in any of their lives. It's not until we get to the end of the 18th month that the slightest differences are measurable in these 3 friends' appearances. But at about month we start seeing really measurable, visible differences. At month we see an extensive difference. And by month the change is starting. Brad is now fat while Scott is trim. By simply cutting 125 calories a day in months, Scott has lost 33 pounds. 31 months 940 days x 125 कैलोरीज/डे 1,17,500 कैलोरीज सेव्ड 1,17,500 कैलोरीज सेव्ड x 1 पाउंड/3 500 कैलोरीज 33.5 पाउंड्स. Brad ate only 125 more calories more a day in that same time frame and gained 33.5 pounds. Now he weighs 67 pounds more than Scott. But the differences are more significant than weight. Scott's invested almost 1,000 hours reading good books and listening to audios. By putting his newly gained knowledge into practice, he's earned a promotion and a raise. Best of all, his marriage is thriving. Brad. He's unhappy at work and his marriage is on the rocks. And Larry. Larry is pretty much exactly where he was 2.5 years ago, except now he's a little more bitter about it. The phenomenal power of the compound effect is that simple. The difference between people who employ the चैप्टर 1 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 24 सेकंड 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 24 सेकंड 14 The compound effect. Compound effect for dirty compared to their peers who allow the same effect to work against them is almost inconceivable. It looks miraculous. Like magic or quantum leaps. After months, or years, the person who uses the positive nature of the compound effect appears to be an overnight success. In reality, his or her profound success was the result of smart choices completed consistently over time. The ripple effect, the results in the above example seem dramatic, I know. But it goes even deeper than that. The reality is that even when small change can have a impact that causes an unexpected and unintended ripple effect. Let's put one of bread's bad habits under the microscope, eating rich food more frequently to better understand how the compound effect can also work in a negative way and can create a ripple effect that impacts your entire life. Bread makes some NS from a recipe he learned from the Food Channel. He is proud and his family loves it, and it seems to add value all around. He starts making them and other sweets frequently. He loves his own cooking and eats more than his share, but not so much that anyone notices. However, the extra food makes Bread sluggish at night. He wakes up a little groggy, which makes him cranky. The crankiness and begin to impact his work performance. He is less productive and, as a result, gets discouraging feedback from his boss. By the end of the day, he feels at with his job and his energy level is. चैप्टर 1 14 चैप्टर 1 14 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 26 सेकंड 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 26 सेकंड. The compound effect in action 15. Way down. The commute home seems longer and more stressful than ever. All of this makes him reach for more comfort food. Stress has a way of doing that. The overall lack of energy makes Brad less likely to take walks with his wife like he used to. He just doesn't feel like it. She misses their time together and takes his withdrawal personally. With fewer shared activities with his wife and an absence of fresh air and exercise, Brad's not getting the endorphin release that had helped make him feel upbeat and enthusiastic. Because he's not as happy, he starts fighting fault with himself and others and stops complimenting his wife. As his own body starts to feel flabby, he feels less dense, less attractive and becomes less romantic. Brad doesn't realize how his lack of energy and affection toward his wife affects her. He just knows that he feels funky. He starts losing himself in TV because it's easy and distracting. Feeling his distance, Brad's wife starts to complain. He then becomes needy. When that doesn't work, she emotionally withdraws to protect herself. She is lonely. She pours her energy into her work and spends more time with her girlfriends to allay her need for companionship. Men sort of fell with her, which makes her feel desirable again. She would never cheat on Brad, but he has a feeling something's wrong. Instead of seeing that his poor choices and behaviors are at the root of their problems, he finds fault with his wife. Believing that the other person is wrong rather than looking inside and doing the work necessary to clean up your mess is basic psychology 101 stuff. In Brad's case, he doesn't know to look inside. They don't offer your relationship advice on Top Chef or his favorite crime shows. However, the thought may. चैप्टर 1 चैप्टर 1 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 28 सेकंड 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 28 सेकंड. 16 The compound effect have occurred to him that if he had read the books his buddy Scott read, he might have learned about ways to change negative habits. Unfortunately for Bradley, the small choices he made on a daily basis created a ripple that wreaked havoc on every area of his life. Of course, all that and intellectual stimulation has had the opposite effect with Scott, who's now reaping the bounty of positive results. It's that simple. With enough time and consistency, the outcomes become visible. Better yet, they're totally predictable. Fig. 1 months 10-20-27. Results: income, health, relationships, happiness, success. 27 months. Choices, behavior, habits. The beauty of the compound effect is in its simplicity. Notice how on the left side of the diagram the results are intangible but how powerfully they differ later on. The behaviors all along the way are exactly the same, but the magic of the compound effect eventually kicks in to bring massive differences in results. चैप्टर 1 16/4/22/10 दोपहर के 4:07 और 19 सेकंड। द कंपाउंड इफेक्ट इन एक्शन 17। The compound effect is predictable and measurable. That's great news. Isn't it comforting to know you only need to take a series of tiny steps consistently over time to radically improve your life? Doesn't that sound easier than mustering up some grand show of bravery and heroic strength only to wear yourself out and have to drum up all that energy again at a later date for another try, which will likely be unsuccessful? I'm exhausted just thinking about it. But that's what people do. We've been conditioned by society to believe in the effectiveness of a great display of massive effort. Heck, it's downright all-American. See Figure 8. Success, old school. The most challenging aspect of the compound effect is that we have to keep working away for a while consistently and before we can begin to see the payoff. Our grandparents knew this, though they didn't spend their evenings glued to the TV watching infomercials about how to have thin thighs in 30 days or a real estate kingdom in 6 months. I bet your grandparents worked 6 days a week from sunup to sundown using the skills they learned in their youth and repeatedly throughout their entire life. They knew the secret was hard work, discipline, and good habits. It's interesting that wealth tends to skip a generation. Overwhelming abundance often leads to a lackadaisical mentality, which brings about a sedentary lifestyle. Children of the wealthy are especially susceptible. They weren't the ones who developed the discipline and character to create the wealth in the first place, so it makes sense that they may not have the चैप्टर 1 17 चैप्टर 1 17 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 32 सेकंड 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 32 सेकंड। 18 द कंपाउंड इफेक्ट। Same sense of value for wealth or understand what's necessary to keep it. We frequently see this entitlement mentality in children of royalty, movie stars, and corporate executives, and to a lesser degree in children and adults everywhere. As a nation, our entire populace seems to have lost appreciation for the value of a strong work ethic. We've had 2, if not 3, generations of Americans who have known great prosperity, wealth, and ease. Our expectations of what it really takes to create lasting success, things like grit, hard work, and fortitude, aren't alluring and thus have been mostly forgotten. We've lost respect for the strife and struggle of our forefathers. The massive effort they put forth instilled discipline, chiseled their character, and stoked the spirit to brave new frontiers. The truth is, complacency has impacted all great empires, including but not limited to the Egyptians, the Greeks, Romans, Spanish, Portuguese, French, and English. Why? Because nothing feels like success. Empires have failed for this very reason. People get to a certain level of success and get too comfortable. Having experienced extended periods of prosperity, health, and wealth, we become complacent. We stop doing what we did to get us there. We become like the frog in the boiling water that doesn't jump to his freedom because the warming is so incremental and insidious that he doesn't notice he's getting cooked. If we want to succeed, we need to recover our grandparents' work ethic. It's time to stir our character, if not for the sake of saving America, at least for your own greater success and achievement. Don't buy into the genie in a lamp idea. You can sit on your couch waiting to attract checks in your mailbox, rub crystals together. चैप्टर 1 18 चैप्टर 1 18 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 34 सेकंड 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 34 सेकंड। द कंपाउंड इफेक्ट इन एक्शन 19। वॉक ऑन फायर चैनल that though is 000 AR, old guru or chant if you want to, but much of that is commercialism manipulating you by appealing to your weaknesses. Real and lasting success requires work and lots of it. I have a quick story to illustrate this success concept. A great new restaurant opened up close to my home on the beach in San Diego. In the beginning, the place was always immaculate. The hostess had a big, welcoming smile for everyone. The service was impeccable. The manager came over and assured it, and the food was sensational. Soon, people started lining up to eat there and would often wait more than an hour to be seated. Then, unfortunately, the restaurant staff began to take its success for granted. The hostess became snooty, the service staff disheveled and curt, and the food quality. The place was out of business within 18 months. They failed because of their success, or rather because they stopped doing what made them successful to begin with. Their success clouded their perspective and they slacked off. Microwave mentality and understanding the compound effect will rid you of instant results expectation. The belief success should be as fast as your fast food, your glasses, your photo processing, your overnight mail, your microwave eggs, your instant hot water and text messaging. Enough, okay. Promise yourself that you're going to let go once and for all of your expectations, because let's face it, you only hear stories about the one winner, not the millions of losers. That person you see. चैप्टर 19 चैप्टर 19 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 36 सेकंड 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 36 सेकंड 20 The compound effect. Jumping up and down in front of the Vegas slot machine or at the Santa Anita Horse track doesn't reveal the hundreds of times that same person lost. If we go back to our mathematical chance of a positive result, again we have a rounding error of 0, as in you have about 0 chance of winning. Harvard psychologist Daniel Gilbert, author of Stumbling on Happiness, says that if we gave lottery losers each 30 seconds on TV to announce not I won, but I lost, it would take almost 9 years to get through the losers of a single drawing. When you understand how the compound effect works, you won't pine for quick fire or silver bullets. Don't try to fool yourself into believing that an athlete didn't live through regular drills and thousands of hours of practice. He got up early to practice and kept practicing long after all others had stopped. He faced the sheer agony and frustration of the failure, loneliness, hard work, and disappointment it took to become no. 8. By the end of this book, or even before it, I want you to know in your bones that your only path to success is through a continuum of mundane and sexy and exciting and sometimes called daily disciplines compounded over time. Know too that the results, the life and the lifestyle of your dreams can be yours when you put the compound effect to work for you. If you use the principles outlined in the compound effect, you will create your fairy tale ending. See Figueroa. Have I made my point? Good. Join me in the next chapter where we will focus on the one thing that controls your life. Every victory or defeat, triumph or failure has started with this. Everything you have or don't have in your life right now has been because of this. Learn to change this and you can change your life. Let's discover what this is. Chapter 1 SEC 1 चैप्टर 1 SEC 1 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 37 सेकंड 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 37 सेकंड The compound effect in action 21. 2. Results: income, health, relationships, happiness, success. Choices, behavior, habits. The compound effect is always working. You can choose to make it work for you or you can ignore it and experience the negative effects of this powerful principle. It doesn't matter where you are on this graph. Starting today, you can decide to make simply positive changes and allow the compound effect to take you where you want to go. चैप्टर 1 SEC 1 21/22/10 दोपहर के 4:07 और 28 सेकंड 22. The compound effect. Put the compound effect to work for you. Summary action steps. Write out a few excuses you might be clinging to, e.g., not smart enough, no experience, wrong upbringing, don't have the education, etc. Decide to make up in hard work and personal development to outcompete anyone, including your old self. B. Start. Write out the small, seemingly inconsequential steps you can take every day that can take your life in a completely new and positive direction. Don't be brave. Write down the small, seemingly inconsequential actions you can stop doing that might be compounding your results downward. List a few areas, skills, or outcomes where you been most successful in the past. Consider whether you could be taking those for granted and are not continuing to improve and are therefore in jeopardy of having that complacency lead to future failure. Chapter 1 SEC 1-22 चैप्टर 1 SEC 1-22 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 41 सेकंड 4/21/10 रात के 12:58 और 41 सेकंड. चैप्टर 2 Choices. We all come into this world the same, naked, scared and ignorant. After that grand entrance, the life we end up with is simply an accumulation of all the choices we make. Our choices can be our best friend or our worst enemy. They can deliver us to our goals or send us orbiting into a galaxy far, far away. Think about it. Everything in your life exists because you are made a choice about something. Choices are at the root of